Hey all, Dirk here from Dirk's Dystopia. I was talking to a friend of mine a few weeks ago, and he mentioned that I had done a full tutorial on how I painted my entire Zone Mortalis board, but I had never really done a complete overview at the end, what it looked like when it was all put together. So I thought I would throw that together real quick. Those of you that have seen some of my battle reports have seen the board used in that, but I just kind of wanted to do an overview of kind of the board and what I did. I went for a simple, easy to do pattern. I didn't want to do, I think there's a lot of really good boards out there where it just kind of looks like standard decking, and they do a real good job with the shading around the edges and a little bit lighter color, and I like that look a lot actually, but I just feel like a lot of people had it. And I wanted to do something different, but that also didn't make me lose my mind painting whatever this is, 4x4, 16 tiles. So I went for kind of a rusted, decayed look. In my head, something you might see on a Death Guard ship after they've fallen, or something like that, or even like a Space Hulk that's just been adrift in space for a long time. So it's kind of, disused and stuff. So I went with the real heavy rusted look, but I did paint some real simple OSL on all the lumens just to kind of give it that lit look. A little bit of details on the cogitator terminals and things like that. That's what I did. I didn't really cover the doors. I did the frames in the same pattern I did the rest of the tiles. The doors are really just a silver with a black wash and then some rusting effects along the edge. You can kind of see there. If it'll come into focus, there we go. And a little bit of bronze and nilic oxide on the aquilus on the doors. I did use some of the Grelin earth shade just to kind of give it a cracked, dirty feel everywhere. And then overview, I feel like the board as a whole really looks striking painted like this. It's definitely different. I do love the amount of configurations you can get for a Zone Mortalis board. I've been able to do a lot. I actually spend way more time than I should trying to set up a board for a game, trying to get the perfect layout, make sure everything makes sense, there's not really any dead ends. Something like this always kind of bugs me, where you end up with just this little chunk here and it's not really ever going to be part of the greater battlefield because there's not a good joining. Sometimes it's possible to avoid that, and sometimes if you're going here, I wanted to go for kind of a big hangar bay look on this end with maybe, this is void integrity fields and that's the void out there. That kind of look. So I needed to use up some of the bigger panels there, and sometimes then you just end up with weird little offshoots like this. A lot of times the way Zone Mortalis games are deployed, you don't end up using part of the board. Sometimes anyway, you tend to deploy in quarters, opposing quarters back and forth. So sometimes like this quarter won't get used if the objectives all end up being down along here. But it works out really well. I'm impressed. Hopefully this is a good overview of what the board looks like completed and together. Gives you an idea of what you can accomplish if you follow the tutorial. Tried to keep it super simple. I am not a really highly skilled painter, so I tried to keep all the techniques basic as I could. And really, like I said, I just wanted something fun to play on. And this is really worked out well for me. I enjoy the games on it. It's a different dynamic than your regular 6x4 board. It's been a ton of fun, and now there's a lot of third-party tiles systems. Really, they end up being more kind of bulkhead arrangements that you can set up that look a lot like this and work. I kind of have it on my long-term list to buy a couple more tiles. A couple more just plain flat tiles are nice, and I do like these 4-way, and it's always hard, and these 3-way essentially, where you have just a big hallway and then also another double wide offshoot. I'd like to have some more of that. I do like to pull dreads into Zone Mortalis. Not everybody likes that, but I think it's fun to have them really kind of I don't want to say dominate the game, but they're a big deal, and you and your opponent have to know that they're going to be there, so you can both prepare. A regular ZM force might not necessarily be able to handle a Contemptor, let alone a Leviathan. But I think it's an interesting dynamic in the whole thing, and they can really just kind of lock down a quadrant unless somebody comes in with another dread, or even somebody that's prepared to deal with it. So I'm thinking about buying some more of these. Obviously I'll add to the tutorial if I do anything different with them, but I would, as of right now, I would buy some more of the wider passages, and then just some of the wide open. And honestly, this 90-degree one, I like this too. I would consider more of these, so that may happen in the future. We'll see. Anyway, hope you like it. Like, subscribe, so I know what you guys want to hear about, comments, all that fun stuff. I appreciate it. It makes doing all this worthwhile when you see people really kind of interacting and enjoying the work we do. Thank you.